hardships, sacrifices, trials, struggles, nakakaharapin natin dahil pumili tayo, dahil nagkaroon tayo ng choice para sundin si Jesus. Yun po. Yun po yung sinasabing cross dito. Jesus laid down His life voluntarily through the cross. And He's asking na sana we would do the same cross to commit dito. Our lives fully to Him. Buong katauhan, buong puso, buong kaluluwa. And accepting and be ready sa anumang paghihirap, anumang trial, anumang struggle, dahil pumili tayo. Pumili tayo na sundin si Kristo. Sana maging ready po tayo sa mga ganitong pagsubok. Following Christ requires willingness to pay the cost. Following Christ requires willingness to pay the cost. Sa Luke 14:28 po, for which one of you, when he wants to build a tower, does not first sit down and calculate the cost to see if he has enough to complete it? Sino ba dito yung may mga hands-on experience na sa pagpapagawa ng bahay? Or kung may maliit kayong business, negosyo, or project, diba, isa po sa mga pinaplano natin ay yung costing or yung budget. Diba? Lahat po ng mga gagawin natin ay may kaukulang cost. May kaukulang kabayaran, may kaukulang price. Ito lang po yung gustong i-highlight dito. So, natatandaan niyo po ba yung tinatanda yung sa Matthew chapter 4 verse 18 to 22, yung opening verse natin, di ba? Pinatanda ko po sa inyo yung mga salitang nauulit, di ba? Yan, i-highlight ko po dito sa slide na to, no? Ito po yung mga bagay that caused the disciples in following Jesus. Ano po ba yung mga bagay na yun? Sa Matthew 4:18 to 22. Tulad po nito, Zebedee or father. It could be their families. No? Ito po yung pagsunod kay Jesus, minsan sunusuko natin ang ating pamilya. Makatulad ng mga, for example, yung mga missionaries natin. Just to spread the good news, just to share the good news sa mga remote areas. Iniiwan nila yung family nila. Doon sa bansa nila, doon sa native na lugar nila, sa hometown nila. Just to follow Jesus. Just to share the good news. Families. Boat. Ano po ba yung sinisimbolize ng boat? Doon sa verse of Matthew 4. It could be property or assets. Ito po yung cost. It could be property or assets. No? Marami po sa kapatiran natin dito sa CCF. No? Yung mga kilala rin po na imbis na kunyari, bumili na lang sila ng property or assets. Minsan, ginagawa na lang love gift, ginagawa na lang tulong para sa simbahan, sa mga missionary work, sa mga gawain pang church. Ganun po. Alang-alang nila yung pagbili ng properties para lang mapunuan ng pangangailangan ng church or pangangailangan ng mga brothers and sisters, yung mga kilala po tayong ganito. Ano pa yung salita na uulit? Yung nets. It could be business. Ang mga example po nito is marami po tayong professional dito sa kapatiran natin sa CCF, no? Marami pong proprietor, maraming owner ng kanya-kanyang company natin. And as far as I know po, itong mga nagmamayari ng company na ito is very, very fair with regards to business transactions. No? Although nandun yung kunyari, isa kang property developer. May kakilala rin po tayong taga-CCF na property developer. Imbis na maglagay sila doon sa, kunyari may bibilihan po silang lupa para i-develop, imbis na maglagay sila doon sa mayor or governor ng province nila, they tend to choose other options like meeting, fellowship, mga ganun po. imbis na mag-compromise sila just to matupad yung projects nila. May kakilala po tayong ganyan. Ano pa po ba yung mga words na yun na kanina sa 22. Fisherman. It could represent job or work, di po ba? Job or work. May mga kapatiran di po tayo na kilala, no, na sinasa alang-alang po yung improvement sa salary nila, yung pag-promote sa job positions nila, if mako-compromise yung work nila with God. Yung mga ganito po tayong kilala, no? So, following Christ requires willingness to pay the cost. Pero, ang matanong ko rin lang po, ano po ba yung kasi po dito sa topic na to, no, may dalawang cost actually na kailangan natin consider, no. First is yung yours and ours, or ours, and pangalawang cost is yung kay Christ. Katulad ng cost natin, di ba? Katulad niyan ng pag-attend ng GLC. Pag-attend ng GLC, ano ba yung cost na nai-incur natin dito? It's yung time, yung effort. Sunday, di ba? Sunday, imbes na nagpapahinga tayo, di ba? Nag-attend tayo ng GLC, na nag-fellowship tayo, yung time natin, yung cost. Maybe yung iba na gumagamit ng data, no? Ng data para lang makakonect sa online, di ba? Bakit? Why are we willing to pay that cost, no? Of attending GLC, makinig sa akin, kahit medyo nakakanto, sorry, joke lang. Kayo makakasagot niyan. Pero alam ko na sa puso nyo, you want to know Jesus more, kaya kayo umattend ng GLC. Diba cost yun para sa inyo? Pero compared dun sa cost na sinacrifice ni Jesus, our cost is quite napakaliit kung kumpara mo sa cost na binigay ni Jesus. No? Ano ba yung cost na binigay ni Jesus? Yung buhay niya para masave lang tayo sa kaparusahan ng kasalanan, or the wages of sin. He bared all the pain, he bared humiliation, and eventually cost him his own life. Bakit? Because he loves us. Ano pa sa tingin niyo yung mas hihigit sa ganung klaseng pagmamahal? Okay, second subtopic pa lang tayo. Please bear with me. Sana po nandiyan pa rin po kayo. Water baptism as a step of obedience. Yan. Step of obedience. Jesus modeled water baptism as a step of obedience to the Father. It was mentioned in Luke 3 verses 21 to 22. When all the people were being baptized, Jesus was baptized too. And as he was praying, heaven was opened, and the Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form like a dove. And the voice came from heaven, "You are my son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased." Imagine, Jesus, the one who is perfect, the one who is sinless, di ba? Son of God, God Himself, surprisingly got baptized too, di ba? Si Jesus, nabautismo. Si Jesus mismo, nagpabautismo. Bakit? Because he wanted to obey the Father. He wanted to please the Father. He obeyed the Father and submitted to His will. Si Jesus nga, nagpabaptize na. Paano pa siguro tayo? Another special point na gusto kong i-highlight dito, no, was when Jesus was baptized. No? God the Father and the Holy Spirit manifested in that particular point in time. Diba? Makikita po natin dito yung pag-manifest. Yun po, yung Holy Spirit descended on him in bodily form like a dove. Then came the Father, and voice came from heaven, "You are my Son, whom I love. With you I am well pleased." Nag-converge, no? Yung Trinity. Makikita natin, nag-converge dito yung Trinity. No? Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Because Jesus obeyed, Jesus was baptized, God the Father was pleased with him. Tayo kaya nagpabaptize? Minsan naiisip ba natin, no? Tayo kaya kapag nagpabaptize, will it please the Lord? Will it please the Lord? Siyempre naman. Siyempre naman. Positive yan, positive. The early believers also took this step of obedience. In Acts 2, verse 41, those who accepted this message were baptized, and about 3,000 were added to their number that day. Imagine on that day, 3,000 were baptized. Imagine CCF Singapore. CCF Singapore siguro nasa 300 pa lang tayo. No? 300, 400. No? So 3,000, roughly around 6 times more than us. Imagine, kailangan kaya natin ma-reach yung numbers na yun. CCF Singapore, kailangan kaya natin ma-reach yung numbers na yun. Pero naniniwala ako walang imposible. Walang imposible kay Lord. But imagine, gusto ko lang imagine nyo yung power of God. Changing 3,000 lives in an instant. Diba? Walang imposible kay God. Those 3,000 took the step of faith, accepted the message, meaning they believed, and then were baptized. They took the step. Yan. Sa Acts 8:12, another verse that early believers also took this step of obedience was in Acts 8:12. But when they believed Philip, as he preached the good news of the kingdom of God in the name of Jesus Christ, they were baptized, both men and women. Bottom line dito, no, just like in Acts 2, when they believed of the good news about the kingdom of God in the name of Christ that the disciples had shared, they were baptized thereafter. No? Mapapansin nyo, walang gap, no? Wala yung, di ba, pagkarinig nila ng good news, wala yung, teka, pwede ba muna ako magpaalam sa asawa ko, sa girlfriend o boyfriend ko, sa parents ko, attend muna ako ng GLC, attend muna ako ng baptism class, bago ako magpabaptize. Noon walang ganun no? Right thereafter, at that time, right thereafter, they heard and believed the good news. They were baptized. Ngayon po, napaka-bless po natin dahil may GLC class tayo para maintindihan po natin lalo kung ano ang importance ng baptism. May GLC class po tayo, may baptism class pa po tayo bago tayo magpabaptize. Napaka-bless po natin. Pero compared sa nakaraan, di ba? When they heard the good news, walang gap. Walang paalam sa pamilya, walang permiso sa iba. They decided right thereafter na gustong magpabaptize, and they were baptized. Okay, third subtopic, why we should be baptized in water. Why we should be baptized in water. Firstly, it is a part of obedience to Christ as his disciples. Secondly, it is a sign of our commitment to follow Christ. Thirdly, it is a picture of what happened to us when we were saved. Isa-isayin po natin to. It is part of obedience to Christ as his disciples. According to Matthew 26, verse 16 to 18. But the 11 disciples proceeded to Galilee, to the mountain which Jesus had designated. When they saw him, they worshipped him, but some were doubtful. And Jesus came up and spoke to them, saying, "All authority has been given to me in heaven and on earth." Proceed po tayo sa next slide. So, Matthew 28, verse 16 to 19 po. 16 to 20 po. So going forward po, go therefore and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe all that I commanded you, and lo, I am with you always, even to the end of age. Even to the end of age. Siguro familiar po tayo dito, no, sa verse 19. Lahat po ba nakakaalam ng verse 19? Ito po yung main verse doon sa CCF mission natin. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Okay po. Sige, tanungin ko po uli kayo, no, yung ano lang po, parang palaisipan po. Can you be a disciple if you are not a disciple yourself? Ulitin ko po. Can you be a disciple if you are not a disciple yourself? Pag-isipan po natin mabuti. Or let's put it this way na lang po. Sige, ganito na lang po. Tanungin ko na lang ulit kayo. Ulit. To whom did Jesus talk to? To whom did Jesus talk to? Sino po yung kausap niya dito? Sa verses 16 to 20. Makikita po natin sa verse 16. No? Nabanggit po dyan yung 11 disciples. Take note po, 11 disciples. 11 disciples. When they saw him, they worshipped him. Then, anong sagot sa kanila ni Christ? All authority has been given to me in heaven and earth. Tapos ano sabi niya? In verse 19, go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. So, sino yung kausap niya dito? Malinaw po, ang kausap niya ay yung mga disciples niya. Mga disciples niya na in-instruct niya o inutusan niya to make disciples themselves too. To make disciples too. Diba? Disciples making disciples. So, yung tanong ko kanina, can you be a disciple if you are not a disciple yourself? Yun. Nandun na po yung kulot ng sagot. And how did they make disciples? Ito po, isa pong mahalagang tanong dito. No? And how did they make disciples? Sa verse 19 din po ang sagot. Baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. It's a command. It's a command when you are a disciple. And if you want to make disciples. Baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. It's a command when you are a disciple and if you want to make a disciple. So, can you disciple? Sa current status nyo ngayon, tanungin po sa sarili natin, can you disciple? Magandang halimbawa po, no? May leading ka to make disciples. No? Bigyan ko po na kayo ng maganda senaryo. May leading ka to make disciples. Tapos nag-invite ka ng mga bagong believers, mga bagong followers para magpabaptize. Pero invite ka sa baptism pero hindi ka pa pala baptize. Makakaya naman siguro, di ba? Paano yung future discipler? Di ba? Yung magandang senaryo doon. You will not know how to make a disciple if you don't know how it is made. You will not know how to make a disciple if you don't know how it is made. So, pang gusto kong highlight dito sa verse 20, minsan nagda-doubt tayo na kunyari, bigyan tayo ng isang leadership role sa isang D group, sa isang small group, or sa isang ministry. Minsan nagda-doubt tayo sa kakayahan natin. Ano? Pero ano ba sabi ni Jesus? Ano ba sabi ni Jesus sa mga disciples niya? Ano ba sabi niya? Sa verse 20. Teaching them to observe all that I commanded you. And lo, I am with you always. I am with you always, even to the end of age. Diba napakagandang promise nito sa mga disciples and would-be disciples who will be making disciples who coming from Jesus. This promise napakaganda. Napaka-liberating, di ba, na I don't have to worry if I'm not equipped. I don't have to worry if I'm not that qualified compared to others. Pero itong promise na to, no, napakaganda. I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Napakaganda po. And marami pa pong, in the Bible, marami pa pong promises na makikita natin makikita natin ang promises ni God sa mga taong nagfa-follow sa Kanya. Ano po ba itong mga to? Dadaanan ko na lang po. Katulad po ng sa John 14. Mamaya daanan po natin sa John 14. Tatakal po natin yung the next slides. Ano ba sabi sa John 14? My Father will love him. If you obey, my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our abode with him. Mamaya paliwanag ko po. Nandyan din po yung promise na niya sa mga followers niya, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Nandyan din po yung sa promise ni God, no? Sa Isaiah 41 verse 10, do not be afraid, for I am with you. Nandyan din po yung isang verse na, be strong and courageous, do not be afraid, do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. When you are doing something for God, do not be afraid. He is with you. When someone comes in the name of God, great, tandaan po natin, great and wonderful things sa atin. Huwag po tayo matakot. Pag nag-obey po tayo kay God, huwag po tayo matakot. Do not fear, because He will be with us always. Ito po, sa photo na to, pakita ko lang po yung photo na to. Ito nangyari po nung August 2015. Although hindi po malinaw, no, kung sino yung nilulubog, pero ako po yan. Talagang nilubog lang po ako ni Pastor J dahil lumulutang po ako. Talagang nilublob niya ako dahil lumulutang po. Yan, nasa background po, yung D-group leader namin, and yung asawa ko. Pero, gusto ko pong i-highlight dito, no? Gusto ko pong i-observe nyo kung sino yung tao, o sino yung taong nakatayo doon sa pool. May isa pong bulinggit dyan na nakatayo sa swimming pool. Mamaya, may personal story po ako regarding this photo. And about him accepting the Lord Jesus Christ. Mamaya po. Why we should be baptized in water? It's a part of obedience to Christ as His disciples. In John 14:23-24, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him. We will come to him and make our abode with him. Think ka to, yung sinabi ko kanina, isa to sa mga promises. Nga sa mga nagpa-follow kay Christ. He who does not love me does not keep my words, and the word which you hear is not mine, but the Father sent me. So ang gandang promise nito, no? If anyone loves me, alam naman natin kung sino yung, katulad ng pinaliwanag ko kanina, malalaman natin kung sino yung mga nagmamahal kay Christ. He will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him, and my Father, and make our abode with him. Make our abode. Ano ibig sabihin ng abode? Abode is home, shelter, or dwelling, no? Ang ganda ng promise ni God dito, di ba? In short, I will dwell with you. I will dwell with you. In John 14:26, but the Helper, the Holy Spirit, whom the Father will send in my name, He will teach you all things and bring to your remembrance all that I said to you. With our obedience to God, katulad nga nun sa verse 23-24, with our obedience to God, He will dwell in us through the Holy Spirit. Ayon dito sa verse 26. He will equip us and guide us all throughout. Natatandaan ko, ito yung verse na pinanghahawakan ko. Kapag may decision ako na kailangan gawin, inuulit-ulit ko ito sa sarili. He will teach you all things, He will teach you all things, He will teach you all things. He will teach you all things. Ganito yung help and guidance na binigay nitong verse na to sa akin personal. It is a sign. Why should we be baptized in water, it is a sign of our commitment to follow Christ. In James chapter 2, verses 18 and 22. Verse 18, but someone will say, we have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. Verse 22, you see that his faith and his actions were working together, and his faith was made complete by what he did. Please remember that baptism is an outward symbol of our inward change. Baptism is an outward symbol of our inward change. It's a commitment to leave our old self, a sinful man, submerged under the water, and come out as having a new image, as holy ones, as children of God. As a committed follower, mamaya may illustration ako, no, na ipipresent sa inyo. As a committed follower, kailangan may evidence of good deeds or good works tayo. No? Kapag wala, let's go back to basics. Pray, read the word, and check natin yung heart natin. If we are truly abiding in Christ, if we are truly following Christ, if we are truly saying that we love Christ, check po natin yung heart natin pag walang evidence of good deeds na sa buhay natin after we were converted to this new image. Why we should be baptized in water? It is a picture of what happened to us when we were saved. In Romans 6, 3-4, or don't you know that all of us who were baptized into Christ, Jesus, were baptized into his death? We were therefore buried with him through baptism into death, in order that, just as Christ was raised from the dead, through the glory of the Father, we too may live a new life. Dito sa Romans 6, verses 3-4, no? Analogy naman yung ginamit dito, no? Analogy of the death, burial, and resurrection of Christ. Analogy to baptism. O, paano natin magko-compare yung dalawa or mapapakita na related yung dalawa, baptism and the death and burial resurrection. Yan, sabi na dito, it is a picture. So, papakita ko sa inyo picture, isang picture. Yan. Nakikita ba na lahat? Malinaw ba? Yan. Makikita natin, there are 3 stages, ano? Death, burial, and resurrection. Ito po yung 3 stages yung sa cross ng kay Christ. Ano? Diba sabi nga sa compare in analogy to baptism. Sabi nga sa Romans 6:23, for the wages of sin is death. So makikita po natin dito sa first stage, which is death. A sinful man, we are all dead in sin. Patay na po tayo as sinful man. May pagkalalagyan po tayo. May pagkalalagyan na po tayo. Ano po ba yung pagkalalagyan natin? We are bound to eternal death. May walang hanggan na kamatayan yung sinasabi. Diba sinabi nga po sa Romans 6:23, for the wages of sin is death. May pagkalalagyan na po tayo. E namatay si Jesus sa krus. Sabi ko nga po, dahil sa pagmamahal niya sa atin at sa kagustuhan niyang mailigtas tayo dito sa tinatawag na eternal death. O yan po yung first stage, death. Second stage, burial. Inilibing si Jesus katulad ng paglubog na sa atin sa tubig ng bautismo. Inilibing or inilubog ang dating tayo ng makasalanan tao. At sa paglubog na yon, we testified that our sins were forgiven or washed away. Nahugasan tayo. Burial and submersion, baptism. Then the third stage, resurrection. At sa muling pagkabuhay ni Jesus, katulad ng pag-angat natin mula sa tubig, tayo ay nabigyan ng panibagong buhay. Panibagong image na nagre-reflect sa katawan ni Kristo. Buhay na sa loob natin nandoon ang Holy Spirit and ang commitment o pangako na sundin si Jesus habang tayo ay nabubuhay. So ito po yung analogy sa Romans 6:23. Death, we are dead in sin, burial, we are buried in baptism, then resurrection of Christ, we are raised to a new life. Ito po yung analogy na sinasabi sa Romans 6:3-4. Yan. Dito na po tayo sa last topic natin. What water baptism is? What water baptism is? Di po ba kayo nagtataka kung minsan may mga salita tayong ginagamit? Excuse me po. May salita tayong ginagamit, hindi po ba natin minsan naiisip kung saan galing yung salita na yun? Katulad po ng baptism, meron po itong origin. Meron po itong origin. Papaliwanag ko po na po sa inyo kung ano yung origin ng salitang baptism bago tayo pumunta sa definition ng baptism. So, yung word na baptism po ay dinerive sa tatlong Greek word. Tatlong Greek word po. First Greek word is bapto. It's a Greek root word meaning to dip. Meaning to dip. To dip. Ano po ba sa Tagalog yung to dip? Isawsaw, di ba? Isawsaw. To dip, isawsaw or basain? Basain? Isawsaw or basain? Yung pangalawang meaning, pangalawang origin po, pangalawang Greek word po is a Greek noun, which is baptisma. A process of immersion or submersion. Kaya makikita po natin yung isang kapatiran natin na he was totally submerged or immersed in water. Ito po yung baptisma. Napakalaga po nitong meaning na to sa process of baptism. And yung third and last origin word is coming from the Greek verb baptizo. Baptizo. Ano po ba ibig sabihin ng baptizo? Ibig sabihin po ng baptizo sa Greek is dyeing of garment to effect a permanent change. Kung makikita niyo po doon sa photo, no, itong matanda, yung isang tao na to, no, is making the process of dyeing a cloth or a garment. Tapos yung nasa kaliwang picture po, ganito po kalaki yung processing area ng pagdadaying. Sino po ba dito yung mga nakaranas na ng pagtitina ng tela o damit, di ba? Sino po ba nakaranas na dito? Kung matatandaan po natin, no, yung mga lola po natin at lolo, no, mahilig sila magtina ng mga tela. Dito po, nilulubog nila yung tela or damit sa may init na tubig na may tina or color. No? Nilulubog po. Yun po yung gusto kong i-highlight na word. No? Nilulubog yung tela or damit sa may init na tubig pa rin, na may tina or color. Bakit po? Para magkaroon ng panibagong kulay or permanent change. Ay nga doon sa Greek word na baptism. Dyeing of cloth or garment to effect permanent change. Highlight ko po yung spelling, dyeing, baptizo is dyeing. Ang spelling po ng dyeing is D-Y-E-I-N-G. D-Y-E-I-N-G. Coming from the root word D-Y-E, dye, which means tina. Pero sa baptism po, dying to oneself. Sa baptism po, dying to oneself. Ang spelling po ng dying is D-Y-I-N-G. Pagkamatay po ng lumang tayo or ng lumang imahe natin as a sinful man. Yun po yung gusto kong i-highlight dito. No? Sa baptism po, dying to oneself, so we can change back to the image bilang anak ng Diyos. Kung matatandaan po natin sa Genesis, ano po ba sabi sa Genesis? Ginawa ang tao na kawangis ng Diyos. Ginawa ang tao na kawangis ng Diyos. At pagkatapos ng gawin ng tao, ano sabi niya? Anong utos niya sa tao? Eba talaga. Sabi ng Diyos sa kanila, humayo kayo at magparami. Humayo kayo at magparami. And fill the earth. Punuin niyo ang mundo. Punuin niyo ang mundo. Bakit? Because God wants to fill the earth with His image. God wants to fill the earth with His image. But sasamaang palad po, eventually man fell into sin. So hindi na yung image ni God ang mangingibabaw sa kanila or nagre-reflect sa kanila, kundi yung kasalanang imahe ng tao na. And dumating si Jesus para ayusin itong problema natin with regards to image against sin. And anong sinabi niya sa Matthew 28 verse 19? Kanina po, Great Commission. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations. Yan, all nations, buong mundo, earth, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yan. The original command to man to fill the earth, as mentioned in Genesis. Fill the earth. Diba sa Genesis po? Fill the earth. God wants to reinstate this command in Matthew 28:19. He wants to fill the earth again. But by making disciples and baptizing them, para yung sinful nature or yung makasalanang image ng tao ay mabago through baptism. No? Mabago yung sinful image into holy man. No? Baptizing in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Giving that permanent change. No? Once na nabago ka, from sinful nature to a holy or godlike image, permanent change. An image that will reflect the image of God Himself. Filling the earth once again. So sa Matthew 28:19, gustong i-instate yung command na yun through making disciples and baptizing para mabalik yung image natin. Same as the original mentioned in Genesis. So, punta po tayo sa mga definition what water baptism is. What water baptism is? It is not a means of salvation but a declaration of our salvation. Remember po yung criminal dun sa Luke 23, no? Yung nakapako sa krus na kasama ni Jesus. No? Natatandaan niyo po ba yung criminal niya? Ano ba sabi niya kay Jesus? Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Jesus, remember me when you come into your kingdom. Ano ba sagot ni Lord Jesus? Ano ba ang sagot ni Lord Jesus? Hindi niya sinabi na, sorry, hindi ka na mag-baptize. No? Sorry, hindi ka makakapasok sa heaven. No? Hindi ka makakapasok sa kingdom dahil hindi ka baptized. No? Hindi niya naman sinabi gano'n. No? Pero instead, anong sabi ni Lord Jesus? Truly, I tell you today, you will be with me in paradise. Hindi naman nabanggit na nabaptize yung criminal. Pero, the moment na niniwala siya kay Jesus, and naniwala siya sa kapangyarihan ni Jesus, sa love ni Jesus, na iligtas siya, tandaan natin, baptism is not a way to salvation. Tandaan po natin, baptism is not a way to salvation. Second definition po, it's a willful choice on the part of the person. Remember po sa Acts 2, no? Nung mag-preach si Peter, narinig siya ng mga tao. They heard and believed yung message niya about the good news and about Jesus Christ. Then these 3,000 were baptized. So itong audience niya sa Acts 2, mga all grown ups na. They can have a choice, they have their own will, they have their own choice. So maganda pala isipan na naman. Coming from a Catholic background, maganda pala isipan na naman. So tanong ko sa inyo, no, nagagawa bang mag-decide willingly ng isang baby or infant na bibinyagan? So ito po tanong, no. So ngayon, nagagawa bang mag-decide willingly ng isang baby or infant na bibinyagan? Dati po, no, share ko lang po yung story ko sa amin. No? Dati po, binibigyan ng isang baby or infant dahil sa paniniwala natin na ilalayo yung baby sa sakit, sa disgrasya, and other health issues po. Kaya natin binibigyan yung baby as early at that stage. As early as that age, di ba? Binibigyan po natin yung mga baby para sa ganung paniniwala. Pero ano po ba sabi dito? Ang water baptism is a willful choice on the part of the person. So tanong po ulit natin, ang baby po ba ay makakapag-decide? Or ang infant? Or ganito po, kahit na anong karga po natin sa baby natin, baby, God died for you. God died for you. He died for your sin. God loves you. Makakasagot ba siya? Makaka-reply ba siya ng, yes, Daddy, I understand you. May ganun bang instance or experience sa buhay niyo? Di ba wala. Magkakaroon ba siya ng baby ng understanding doon sa good news? So balik tayo, no? So yung basis ng salvation natin is of willful choice. Willful choice of a person in receiving Jesus as his or her personal Lord and Savior. Choice kung tatanggapin natin yung grace na yon or hindi. So ang baby ba or infant hindi pa nakapag-practice ng faith? Diba? It's a choice. Kailangan we are mature enough to have a choice, to have a will, and it's up to you. If you want to receive the grace or not. It is a willful choice on the part of the person. Thirdly po, water baptism is a public declaration of the believer's identification with Christ's death and resurrection. Public declaration. Public declaration po. Highlight ko po. Public declaration. Ibig sabihin ito, maraming nakakakita or witness. Hindi pwedeng, wow, swimming, wow, swimming, lubog dito, lubog doon, wow, I'm already baptized. I accept Jesus. Hindi po ganun hindi po ganun. Public declaration, ibig sabihin po, may nag-o-officiate at may mga witness. Parang oath-taking po parang oath-taking. Done in public, witnessed by people, in the eyes of God, and in the eyes of many. Yan po ibig sabihin ng public declaration. And fourthly, by immersion. Water baptism is by immersion in water. Ito po magandang kwento sa Acts 8:38. And he ordered the chariot to stop, and they both went down into the water. Philip as well as the eunuch, and he baptized him. Ito po yung kwento ni Philip and isang eunuch na nagbabasa ng scripture. Yung eunuch po nagbabasa ng scripture, and in-approach siya ni Philip. Then, nag-preach na si Philip. Then, eventually, na-share ng good news. Pagkatapos ma-share ng good news ni Philip yung eunuch, at habang nagta-travel sila, nakakita ng tubig yung eunuch. Yung tanong niya sa grupo na nagta-travel. Ano pa ba ang makakapigil sa akin para mabautismo? Diba? Para sinasabi niya, may makakapigil pa ba sa akin na mag-baptize? Ito na yung water sa tabi ko. Ito na yung body of water na nasa sa tabi ko. Diba? Walang reason. Walang excuse para ipagpaliban yung baptism na yun. At that moment in time. Nandun na lahat yung elements Nandun si Philip para mag-officiate. Nandun yung group who travel para mag-witness. Nandun yung water, body of water para sa baptism. Pero hindi natatapos dyan yung lahat. Ang nakakagulat dito, yung pagkatapos silang ma-submerge sa water, silang dalawa, si Philip and yung eunuch. Pag angat sana nilang dalawa sa tubig, nawala bigla si Philip. Parang, wow, magic. Nawala bigla si Philip, pero hindi magic yun. It was a miracle. Actually, it's a miracle. Dinala siya ng Holy Spirit sa ibang lugar. Dinala si Philip ng Holy Spirit sa ibang lugar. Continuous vision. Pinakita lang dito na walang imposible sa Panginoon kapag nasa kanya. And unang witness doon sa miracle na yun was the eunuch to show how powerful the God that Philip is praising and worshiping. Ganun po yung pangyayari nito. Yun. We have come to the pinnacle of our session. Ito po, in summary natin, summarize ko po para mas madaling ma-absorb natin yung mga highlights or yung mga points during the session. Sagutin po natin yung mga tanong. Subukan po natin sagutin yung mga tanong na to. First question, what is and why baptism? Second, when to be baptized. Third, who should be baptized? And fourth, how to be baptized. How to be baptized. So first, what is and why baptism? Yan, katulad ng nabanggit natin kanina, Jesus modeled it. In Matthew 3, verse 16, as soon as Jesus was baptized, he went out of the water. Kanina napaliwanag na natin na si Jesus ay nagpabaptize din. Ang highlight po nito, Jesus modeled it. He set an example para sa mga followers niya. In application to real life. Katulad po natin mga parents, pag sinabihan po natin yung anak natin na magtipid, mag-save. Pero nakikita naman nila, bili ka naman ng bili online, Shopee dito, Salora doon, Wish doon, ano ba? Lazada, name all online shopping, di ba? Bili ka naman ng bili. Pero sinasabihin mo anak mo, mag-save ka nga, magtipid ka nga. Pero nakikita ka naman nila na hindi mo naman ginagawa. Kahit CD, hindi mo ginagawa, di ba? Ano yung siniset ng example sa mga anak mo? Susundin ka kaya nila? Ayon ka kay one of the quotes from Thomas Fuller, one of the early clergymen, a good example is the best sermon. And may English, may English quote na action speaks louder than words. Familiar po tayo sa quote na yan. Action speaks louder than words. So dito po, with regards to baptism, mismo si Jesus ang nag-model nito. Dapat ba natin tularan? Mismo si Jesus na nag-model nito. Tularan. Yan. Baptism is not salvation. Napanggit ko nga kanina. It is a public declaration. It is a willful choice. And it is a command. Paggawa ng disciples, di ba? It is a command. Ayon nga sa Great Commission, no? Ulitin ko ulit. Therefore, go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. When to be baptized? Kailan pa tayo dapat baptismuhan? In Acts 16, verses 30 to 33. Sabihin po natin, Sirs, what must I do to be saved? They replied, believe in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved, you and your household. Tandaan po natin itong verse na ito, no? Believe in the Lord Jesus, and you will be saved, you and your household. Then they spoke the word of the Lord to him and to all the others in his house. At that hour of the night, the jailer took them and washed their wounds. Then, immediately, he and all his household were baptized. Yan. Makikita po natin yung sequence dito, no? Kailan po tayo pwedeng mabaptize? Makikita po natin yung sequence. First, believe in the Lord Jesus. Believe in the Lord Jesus. Then, immediately, we can be baptized. So, note the sequence po, no? Note po natin yung sequence na to, no? Believe and then be baptized. Sana nasagot po natin yung tanong, no? Get to be baptized. Kaya po muna tayo mag-believe kay Lord Jesus and we can be baptized. So, who should be baptized? In Acts 2:41, those who accepted His message were baptized. Kanina po, marami po ako nabanggit, no, na mga instances, mga verses sa Bible na una, narinig muna nila yung magandang balita or yung message. Yung mga taong yun. So, who should be baptized? Those who accepted His message. Those who accepted Jesus as their personal Lord and Savior. Ayon nga doon sa previous slide ko kanina, no? Believe in the Lord Jesus. So verse 31, believe in the Lord Jesus. Then who should be baptized? Those who accepted this message. Those dun sa mga naniwala kay Jesus as their personal Lord and Savior. Moving forward, how to be baptized? How to be baptized? Yan po, yung Great Commission. In Matthew 28:19, therefore go and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Yan. And in Acts 8:38-39, and He gave orders to that stop the chariot. Then both Philip and the eunuch went down into the water, and Philip baptized him. When they came out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord suddenly took Philip away. Ito yung sinakwento ko kanina. The Lord suddenly took Philip away, and the eunuch did not see him again, but went on his way rejoicing. So, how to be baptized? By water. Yan. Makikita po doon sa Acts 8. By water. They went down into the water. Tapos, baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. So, water, and baptizing them in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. How to be baptized? Yan po, yung dalawang reason. Just to illustrate po, no, yung dapat po na dapat nating maging principle regarding salvation. Faith in Jesus plus good works equals salvation. Nandito po ba kayo? Naniniwala po ba kayo dito? Sino po ang may ganitong pananaw? Faith in Jesus plus good works equals salvation. Sa pangalawang grupo po, faith in Jesus plus baptism equals salvation. Sino po ang nandito sa grupo na to? Sino po naniniwala dito sa principle na to? Faith in Jesus plus baptism equals salvation. And lastly, faith in Jesus plus nothing equals salvation. Sana lahat po tayo nandito sa pangatlong principle. Sana lahat po tayo nandito sa pangatlong grupo. So, faith in Jesus plus nothing is equal to salvation. Pero, katulad po rin na nabanggit ko kanina, ang reformed lives natin or changed lives natin should be evident of good deeds or good works. Hindi natin sinasabi na ang faith natin, paniniwala natin kay Jesus at plus good works mabibring salvation. Or di natin sinasabi na ang faith in Jesus plus magpapabaptize tayo ay masisave na tayo. It's only by faith in Jesus, faith alone in Jesus. Plus natin, walang addition, wala nang ibang rekado, wala nang ibang ingredients towards salvation. It's only faith in Jesus alone. Equals salvation. And that salvation, sa buhay natin, kailangan may result. Kailangan may evidence of our changed life. Like good works or good deeds. Ano ba yung mga good works na yan? Yan, reformed lives, changed lives. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng mga reformed lives na yan? It can include obedience, love, the fruit of the Holy Spirit, yan. Which also includes obedience and baptism. Yung faith natin kay Jesus, yung obedience natin kay Jesus, knowing that we are saved, we should take the next step. We should take the next step. katulad niya, baptism, which is baptism. To end this session, I would like to share with you a personal story about yung kanina, kung natatandaan nyo, no, yung photo ng baptism namin mag-asawa. Di ba, pina-observe ko sa inyo kung sino yung batang nakatayo sa gilid ng pool. That was my son, yung bunso po namin, si Kimi po. And a year after may baptism ulit sa CCF 33. And he decided na magpabaptize din. And bago siya magpabaptize, since hindi naman siya naka-attend ng GLC 1, hindi naman siya naka-attend ng mga baptism class, kinausap ko na lang siya personally. And this next slide tells us about how our conversation went through, no? Yan. Bago siya i-baptize, tinanong ko siya. Kimi, are you ready to be baptized? Kimi, are you ready to be baptized? Sagot niya, medyo millennial. Yeah, I think so. Mga ganung mga tamang sagot niya. Yeah, I think so. Siyempre, ako, pang-millennial na rin. Sagot ko, okay. So, why do you wanna get baptized? Yung mga sagutan natin, pang-millennial. He paused for a minute. 8 years old during that time. Nag-iisip siya kung ano yung sasagot niya. Anong sagot niya? Because I saw you and mom did it. Because I saw you and mom did it. Nakita po natin sa picture kung gaano niya intricately pinapanood yung process ng baptism namin. Because I saw you and mom did it. Parang gusto kong umiyak sa harap niya. No? Pero I held on. No? Gusto kong ukalkalin pa kung ano yung nasa isip niya. May gusto pa akong marinig na salita. May gusto pa akong marinig na answer. Although nakakataba ng puso itong sinagot niya sa akin. Pero may gusto pa akong sagot na gusto kong marinig sa kanya. So, I continued the conversation. I held on to my tears. Then, tinanong ko ulit siya, wow, that's nice. Pakul-dad ako eh. Sabi ko, wow, that's nice. I'm so proud of you. Walang ganun eh. Pakul tayo. Wow, that's nice. Sabi ko sa kanya. But is it the only reason why you're doing it? Tanong ko ulit sa kanya. Then he paused again for about 1 minute or 2 minutes. At ito yung sagot niya sa akin. Innocently, at that young age, ang sagot niya sa akin. And in Sunday school also, sabi niya sa akin. I learned that we need Jesus to be saved. Yan, parang durog na durog yung puso ko. Gusto ko maglupas sa inyo. Narinig ko yung gusto kong marinig, no? Ginagawa niya yung pagbabaptize na yun. Hindi lang para sa amin. Hindi dahil nakita niya kami ginawa yun. And for me, ang gusto ko lang marinig is yung pangalan ni Jesus. Yung sagot niya, na binabanggit niya, gusto niya magpabaptize dahil kay Jesus. Yun lang gusto kong marinig sa kanya. Ayun. Then, I escorted him to the pool for his water baptism. This was very vivid yung memory na to. No? This happened last July 9, 2016 sa Legrandeur Resort, where we got baptized also. No? Anong gusto mong highlight dito? No? What I want to highlight is this. No? Lahat naman tayo dito sa GLC, we are all mature enough. No? We are all mature, we have our own will, we have our own perspective. We have, although different, no, we have our own perspective, although magkakaiba tayo ng perspective about Jesus, about salvation, about church, about baptism na lang specifically, no? Kasi minsan, naglalaro sa isip natin, papabaptize ba tayo o hindi? Kailangan ba natin pagdaanan ng baptism? May mga ganito tanong, no, na may isip natin. No? Even though we are mature enough, like, maliligtas ba tayo kapag di tayo nakapagpabaptize? Yung mga tanong na ganito, no? Even we are mature enough. But I want you to look at this particular situation, this innocent and pure response, from this 8-year-old kid. Innocent. Gusto ko sanang ilagay nyo yung sitwasyon na to bilang isang 8-year-old. Like this 8-year-old son of mine. He heard about Jesus. He admitted the need of Jesus. He believed in Him as His Savior and Lord. And most importantly, he took action. He took this one step of faith by being baptized. And I hope and pray that you'll believe and take action as well. Take at this step as well. No? Like this 8-year-old kid, no? Napaka-pure ng heart niya. He will do this one step, not for us, not for the people around him, but only for Christ, only for Jesus. Yun po yung gusto kong highlight sa inyo. Okay. To end this session, no, magkakaroon po tayo ng breakout discussion. May 2 questions po tayo dito, no. Paliwanag ko lang po yung 2 questions nito. First question, what command of God are you afraid of following? What command of God are you afraid of following? And habang nagdi-discuss tayo within the breakout group, no, pinapag-usapan ko po yung other group mates na encourage nyo yung medyo mabigat tong tanong na to. Encourage nyo po yung group mate nyo na nag-a-answer dito sa question na to. Yun po ipakiusap ko sa number 1 question. And number two po, if you were already baptized, please share or describe your life before and after baptism. Yung baptism po, no, baptized as Christian po, ang binabanggit ko po dito. No? Baptized as Christians. If you were already baptized, please share or describe your life before and after baptism. And if you are not yet baptized, what are the things that keeps you from being baptized? And ano po yung next action na gagawin nyo para mabaptize? Yun po. Okay na po tayo. Admin, can we go to our respective breakout groups?
Yes, Kuya Mark. Pupunta tayo sa ating respective groups. Okay. Welcome again. Salamat, Kuya Mark, for the teachings on baptism. Very helpful sa ating lahat and very comprehensive yung ating naging topic. Very personal on how to follow after Christ. So with that, meron na tayong may ginawa tayong breakout group sessions. So yung katulad sinabi ni Kuya Mark kanina, let us encourage one another in sharing din yung ating mga testimonies and mag-share tayo ng life to life. And for now, I'm going to bring you dun. Kuya Mark, ilang minutes ang ating breakout group?
Mga 20 minutes, pwede na siguro.
Kasi it's already 3:20. So we have another 20 minutes and then reporting. Okay, so in 20 minutes, magkakaroon tayo ng breakout group. So share. And then automatically, after magkakaroon ng countdown on the upper right of your monitor, meron doon 60 seconds to wrap up. And then after that, automatically, lahat tayo dito is magbabalikan sa main session hall. Okay? And after that, magkakaroon tayo ng reporting. One out of the two questions you will report. Kuya Mark, sino ba yung magre-report sa kanila?
Kung sino yung pinaka dito, pwede ba akong mag-suggest ng Kung sino
Pwede.
yung pinaka bago dito sa Singapore?
Pinabago sa Singapore. Okay. So we've heard from Kuya Mark kung sino yung pinakabago sa Singapore. So at least get to know one another then. Okay, so 20 minutes breakout group. Then afterwards, lahat tayo babalik. Ang magre-report and magpa-facilitate is yung youngest dito sa Singapore. Okay. So let's all go together.
Thank you.